Welcome to today's episode of How the Game Was Won. Today we are in Bilbao for the Masters Final of 2016. This game played on the 14th of July 2016, and we're looking at the game between Wei of China and Magnus Carlsen. Wei began with d4, and we had g6, e4, bishop g7, knight c3, d6, bishop e3, a6, and the Swedish Grandmaster Carlsen wrote a voluminous book on this opening, which recently has appeared in a new revised edition. Perhaps Carlsen's been reading that book, or, as I mentioned previously, perhaps he's steering clear of the type of lines that he's preparing for his World Championship match against Carlsen that comes up in November. Continuing with f4, b5, knight f3, knight d7, e5, bishop b7, bishop d3, c5, bishop e4, bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, knight h6, d takes c5, d takes e5, c6, knight f6, queen takes d8, check, rook takes d8, knight takes f6, check, e takes f6, c7, rook c8, bishop b6, king d7. This kind of position should suit Carlsen. After an early exchange of queens, White's far advanced pawn on c7 looks way vulnerable. Continuing, bishop a5, knight f5, castle long, king c6. All of this has been played before. Continuing, rook d8, knight d6, f takes an e5, f takes an e5, rook d1, knight c4, bishop c3, rook c7, b3, knight e3, bishop takes an e5. For instance, instead of bishop takes an e5, Wei could have looked at, for instance, rook on 1 to d6 with king b7, rook 8 to d7, king c8, rook c7, check, king c7, rook takes an a6, rook c8, bishop a5, check, king b7, rook b6, check, king a7, rook d6, and knight takes on c2 with an advantage to black. The game continued after bishop takes an e5 with knight d1 takes on d1, rook d6 check, king b7, bishop takes on g7, rook g8, bishop d4, knight c3. At the moment, black is in exchange up, however, he has to part with some material in the process. Rook b6 check, king c8, bishop b5. Now White threatens to regain the exchange. Continuing, rook d8, king b2, knight d5, bishop takes on c7, king takes on c7, rook takes on a6. Now White is a pawn up, but his rook is awkwardly placed, and White has to return the pawn in order to be able to hopefully get his pieces back into better position. King b7, rook a3. Obviously what's happening here is White's trying desperately to keep his extra pawn. Knight e3. This is typical Carlsen. Only a few pieces remain on the board, but he manages to exert enormous pressure with the careful placement of the pieces that he has left. c4, b takes on c4, knight e5, which is not the best. The world champion will now advance his c-pawn to reach the first rank for a touchdown queening move. Rook d2 check, king c3, rook c2 check, king d4, knight f5 check, king d5, c3, king c5, knight d6, knight c6, and White is still in the game, and he threatens to win a piece with something along the lines of rook a7 check, knight e4 check, king b5, king c7, rook a7 check, king d6, rook a4. Better would have been in this situation to play something like knight b4, rook takes on g2, rook takes on f7, rook takes on h2, and white still has a chance to be able to fight for the draw, but after rook a4 you got f5 with clear advantage here to black. King b6, rook g takes on g2, rook d4 check, king e6, a4, rook a2. As you can see over here, white has got the two connected passes in the A and B rank, but black's passer on c3 is looking way strong at the moment, and not to mention the fact that he's got these three connected pawns on the king side of the board, which are paired off against the one lone pawn that Wei still has in the game on that side of the board. Looking at a5, rook b2, king c7, knight c5, rook c4, knight a6 check, king b6, rook takes on b3, king takes on a6, king d5, and this is exactly the point. The white rook is once again in trouble, way out of position. Rook b4, c2, knight e7 check, king c5, rook b3 check, c1 queen, and rook b6, queen c4 check, king b7, queen e4 check, knight c6, queen d5, king c7, queen d6 check, king b7, queen d7 check, king b8, and f4 play. So as you can see here, that the positioning of black's queen over here on the 7th rank simply means that the white pawn is never going to progress past the a7 square, and while at the same time the f pawn will be able to continue completely unhindered to the f1 square and queen. Therefore the game completely bust and lost. Wei resigned, Carlsen picked up the point, and that, my friends, is how the game was won. Remember to click like, share, subscribe, post any comments, questions, criticisms that you may have in the comment section down below. Very importantly, let me know if the current sound recording is better than the videos that I was putting out a couple of months back, because I'm trying a completely new system here at the moment. And last but by no means least, remember, stay carved up for the win. I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Go vegan!